Dude, how about BKFC yesterday? What a wild event. Just super quick detour. Eddie Alvarez retiring Chad Mendes, Conor McGregor after all these years, basically coaching both guys during their fight. Mike Perry beating Rockhold, the much bigger Rockhold, then facing off with Conor. It was like a tribute show to 2014 to 16 MMA. All they needed was like some Reebok gear to complete everything. What was your favorite part, man?
I think probably Conor being there, being so animated. I mean, he's like a moth to a flame, isn't he? No matter where the attention is, he's going to be right front and center doing shots of proper 12. I've not watched the full fight of Mendes against Alvarez yet, but I will make sure I check that out. But as far as Perry and Rockhold, I mean, it didn't really surprise me, to be honest. Like, you think back to what Perry did to MVP. MVP's got amazing defense, and Perry was still able to close him down and get to him enough to win the decision. With Rockhold, I think he would probably just have overlooked Mike Perry because he's quite a bit smaller. Rockhold's a big welterweight, a big middleweight, and Mike Perry's a small welterweight. So I think he expected to be able to box him on the end of his range and not get hurt too much. And that's just never the case with Mike Perry. It's like fighting a pit bull in an empty swimming pool.
Yeah, Mike loves it. He loves getting hit and loves the feeling of that bare knuckle boxing. There's barrage. Hey, I was going to ask you, because I was when I was watching that and Conor came in the ring, they did that stare down. Got me thinking. Mike did so well against MVP. How would you see a bare knuckle boxing match between him and Conor going? I'm not saying it would ever happen, but it just got me thinking who would win that one.
What bit between Perry and Conor, or between MVP?
Perry and Conor. And bare knuckle.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Mike Perry is he doesn't mind taking damage. He doesn't mind walking through fire. And although Conor, he's willing to do the same thing to a point, he does get slowed down and backed up. And Mike Perry's a bit bigger, a bit more heavily muscled. I just think he'd be able to kind of get to Conor eventually by taking enough damage and wearing it well enough to be able to slow Conor down and get to him. It'd be an absolute banger of a fight, though, and this is really where you would get to see Conor's boxing skills, striking skills on full display, because with no gloves on at all, it's a game of millimeters as opposed to inches, and Conor's always had good defense, but Mike Perry would most likely get to him, and how would he deal with that kind of pressure and damage?
Crazy, man. Crazy times of living, and Mike Perry the biggest winner from the whole weekend, really. Out of curiosity, people see Conor chugging the proper 12, the whiskey and everything, and the memes are like, well, the training camp's going well, we see. We're not going to get the Chandler fight with another 30,000 years. But I was also like, well, let's say he needs 4 months to have a good camp and stuff. That's May, June, July, August. Do you see this as like alarm bells? Like, what are you doing, Conor? Why are you drinking so much? Or are you like, they were talking about having the fight in November. Maybe it's not such a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a bigger game being played because, there's still got to be 6 months of USADA, right? Is he not done a test?
I don't think.
I feel like there's like an internal battle going on. Conor's kind of flexing his brand within the combat sports world, and basically kind of irritating the UFC enough for him to be able to push him around a little bit and get his way. Like, he has such weight in the sport, in combat sports, and in the general mainstream interest of interest in people, really, that he's able to get away with things. I mean, if anybody else had done that, they'd have been in so much trouble. But Conor will most likely, turn it into a negotiating tool. So we'll see what happens. But I don't see him fighting in the next 4 months against Michael Chandler unless we see his name pop up on the USADA website and someone will spot that, because I bet people are checking that every day for Conor McGregor's name.
And I gotta say, like, BKFC, congratulations to those guys, because it was a banger of a show. They played all their cards right, and it reminded me of like, hey, there is a place out there for some combat athletes if they want to kind of go through what that is. And I mean, who knows? Maybe Conor McGregor is going to become a part owner, because there is after that weekend, everybody loves it. But I understand also him drinking that proper whiskey, because that's him marketing one of his brands, right? Like, he's always going to go out there and do his thing. So I think sometimes people get a little bit too swept up in the theatrics of marketing, of effective marketing. And Conor McGregor was at the Tank Davis fight, doing his thing as well in Ryan Garcia's change room, no doubt pushing proper 12 there too. So he's just a really great marketer, and sometimes people need to understand that's what he's doing. But unbelievable weekend.
He's probably punking us. He's probably just chugging apple juice all the time.
The thought crossed my mind. Yeah, possible.
He's a very, very shrewd individual. It wouldn't surprise me at all.